On today's video, we're going to break down every single guitar part in one of my favorite old school Mastodon songs. Well, hey there kids, it's your good buddy, Uncle Ben. It's no secret that I'm a hardcore Mastodon fan, and one of my favorite tunes off of Remission has got to be Mother Puncher. I love that super long instrumental that starts the song out. It's really complicated and progressive, and then it just descends into total Caveman sludgery there at the end. It's really fun to play, and there's a lot of inaccurate tabs floating around out there for this one, so in today's video we're going to set the record straight. As always, this video is brought to you guys by everybody who supports my channel over on my Patreon page at patreon.com/Ben Eller Guitars. Sign up today at any level. You're going to get access to a ton of exclusive content like bonus videos, downloadable tabs, backing tracks, and more. This week, everybody who supports the channel is going to get access to some super exclusive tabs to go along with this one, so don't delay. Sign up today. Gear-wise, for today's video, I'm playing my lovely Dunable Cyclops right here, and I'm playing that through the Mesa Boogie Badlander 100, which is just a regal piece of amplification. One thing I'm going to note about this is that this is in Mastodon's A tuning that they use pretty frequently, so it's A, G, C, F, A, D. So it's like you've tuned your guitar down a whole step, then tune the lowest string down way more lowlier, all the way down to A. Now this guitar is 25.5-inch scale, like Fender scale, you know, and I found an odd string set that works great on this guitar for all of Mastodon's tunings. It's the 10 through 52 set that you can get from Dunlop, and then I took that low 52 off and replaced it with a 56. I find that whenever you tune it up to D, it's still got nice tension to it, but it's not too tight. And down here in A, it still holds tune really well and intonates great. So that's what I'm using for today's video. And I forgot to mention I'm running that Mesa into the Universal Audio aux box, topped off here with my good buddy Tyrannosaurus Flex. And now, onto those mother punchin' riffs. This is the basic stem of the first riff before the harmonies and all that stuff come in here. Be sure you're doing a pull off here from 16 to open. Kind of gives it that Phrygian dominant kind of flavor. And whenever you play the little lick here down at the bottom, be sure to notice that there's kind of a ghost note open low A down there in between the two positions. I'm not going to claim to know which guitarist plays which harmony, but one of the parts sounds like this. So it's like you play root position, a fourth above, and then an octave above. Now you'll notice whenever I go there to those higher strings, to keep the low A from ringing out, I kind of wrap my thumb around the neck like this, just to stop that from ringing out as I play those higher strings. Might want to give that a try yourself, or use your middle finger to block it off. Meanwhile, the other guitar starts off in root position, goes up an octave, and then goes up a fifth above that. Second riff in the song is one of my favorites, and I see it tabbed out badly all the time, so be sure to pay really close attention to the positions and open strings that we're going to be using. There's some harmonies in this riff too, and again, I'm not exactly sure who plays what part. It might be kind of a mix of the two, honestly, so I'm going to refer to this as guitar low and guitar high, but in reality it might go from the low riff to the high harmony, or the high riff to the low harmony, so mix and match at your discretion. So that's what I'm going to call the low guitar. Okay, so we're starting off down here with this lick, and then this part here with all these slides in it. Okay, here's how it goes. It's a lot of notes. You can play that with some hybrid picking if you want to, using your middle finger to play the D string notes, or you can just pick it all. It doesn't really matter. This is confusing and really unorthodox, just like a lot of Mastodon stuff, so let me break this down into a few easier to swallow licks to make it more digestible. Okay, check it out. One pick stroke, whole lot of slides. And then we're gonna play this. Okay? So you have, and then play. Okay, again, none of these are really that hard on their own. And end with. So you're gonna have a pull off to A, and then a pick stroke on A to play that last lick. And then we're gonna play this. Now again, this guitar might actually be playing the high harmony, I'm not exactly sure, but just to make this easier to organize, I'm going to play the low harmony with the low version of the riff. Okay, so that was, and then, play the first part again, and then we have this part right here. So same position you were in earlier, and then your climbing lick is like this. Halfway through this section, you only play the first two licks of that climbing section. You'll see what I mean when you get there. Now for the high guitar, we're going to play that same open one, open thing down low. And then what you're going to do is to play that same slidey lick that we learned earlier, only up one octave. The open strings and stuff, if I'm not mistaken, remain in place. You're just going to be doing all the fretted notes up high like this. Okay? Really jumbled sounding. But, you know, again, if you're trying to match all those, like, open string notes an octave higher, that would be so much harder. So yeah, just leave the open strings where they are. And then the second part of this is going to be a fourth higher than the low guitar. So we're going to go. Same lick, just transposed up a set of strings. Now this guitar's climbing lick is going to sound like this. That section plays all the way through, then we're going to get to the first Caveman riff of the song with this tempo change. Cool thing about this low A tuning that they use is whenever you play, what feels like a power chord shape on the bottom 2 strings, it just ends up being octaves between your 6th and 5th strings. So we're going to be focused here on this A power chord, palm muted chug, and then your octave power chord there on the bottom on the 3rd fret. Then you're going to move down here to A flat, and move your octave power chord down here to the 1st fret. There's a couple juicy squeals there that replace the first power chord every couple times that riff goes through. This riff also features that same little reset lick that we used way earlier at the start of the tune. And then we get to the very last part of the tune, which goes even more Caveman on us. We're going to be using some octaves here, starting off with this A. Can't beat going up there to that flat 5 of F up here on the 8th fret of the A and G strings. Keep the section sounding really clean. Every time you fret down one of those octave shapes on your 5th and 3rd strings, be sure to fret it in such a way that the tip of that first finger barely catches that low A string on the bottom. That way it doesn't just ring into it like this. It starts to sound kind of sloppy if you do it that way. Yeah, again, I'm just using the very tip of that first finger just to barely poke that low A string to make it squeaky clean. There's this octave lead that comes in over that 2 that's going to start by sliding up into that high A position. Nothing fancy, but it just adds a little bit of mood and ambiance to that last section. The only thing that's tricky about this is making sure you're getting the timing right, because he doesn't slide up on the first measure. He slides up on the second measure like this. 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, 3, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 5, 2, 3, 6, 2, 3, 7, 2, 3, 8, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3. You get the idea. The only other thing to mention is that after the first time you hear that Caveman lead part, it sounds like rather than being octaves, this riff becomes power chords. So essentially just take the octavey thing you were playing before and turn them into full-fledged power chords. Now I'm just guessing entirely here, but rather than making it like full-on power chords like that, it might be that one guitar is playing the octaves where they were and the other guitar is completing the power chord by playing those octaves a 5th up. That's more than likely what's going on. It's kind of like this. But you can get basically the same effect just by playing it as power chords, so that's what I would do. And that is all the riffs. Thank you guys so much for liking this video. Be sure to subscribe to the channel and ring the bell down there for notifications every time I upload a new slice of fried gold right here for you guys. Let me know in the comments section what Masto classic you guys would like to see broken down next, and I'll happily oblige and cover that in the near future. Also, be sure to sign up today to that Patreon page and grab those tabs over at patreon.com/Ben Eller Guitars. You're also going to find a ton of other bonus goodies out there and a community of awesome people just like yourself. Alright guys, time to get away from the computer and start mashing some ropes. Less clicking, more picking.